People are reading things online. This is just my view. This is a lot of it. They read things online. They believe them. They start acting them out. They already are imbalanced themselves, and they actually go do what they're reading online. So that has been a contributor, as well as, of course, a lot of hateful rhetoric. And there's a lot of politicians that should be looking in the mirror and bring their rhetoric down.
Democrat Senator Amy Klobuchar. And I could put together a 2-hour montage of Democrat Party rhetoric calling everyone Nazis and Hitler and fascists and the end of democracy. And I could play the audio of Bernie Sanders volunteer James Hodgkinson shooting up a baseball field and shooting Congressman Steve Scalise, and Democrats shooting Donald Trump through the ear and then being taken out by a Secret Service sniper. 1 shot, 1 kill for the sniper. I could play that. Now let me get back into everything that's going on here, and we have John on the line, and I apologize, John. John calling in from Missoula, Montana. I went to the phones a little bit late. My fault entirely. I apologize. And welcome back to our humble radio broadcast, The Chris Plante Show.
Well, thank you.
You bet.
Language today is so fungible.
Mm-hmm.
You can use one word and then another word and then another word, and anybody can interpret it as what they want to purport it to be. Is that not correct?
Oh, sure, yeah, and the left has been masterful at manipulating language for years.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, they have professors that write volumes on manipulating language. Absolutely true.
So what is Bill Clinton?
Right.
What is?
Yeah, it depends on what the meaning of the word is. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I was starting Mark Levin's new book coming out, Power, and I was reading last night, is discussing the use of language and the abuse of the English language, manipulation of language, and the left. Again, they've got professors and authors that they worship who have spent their lives and their careers in academia and in journalism manipulating the use of language. And you're absolutely right that words and phrases and language can be manipulated and very fungible. You use the correct word, fungible, when it comes to the use and abuse of language. And the left, much better at manipulating language than conservatives ever. Conservatives didn't look for new ways to abuse the English language, but the left has been masterful at manipulating language for a long, long time.
Exactly. Just say what you mean.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, conservatives just say what you mean. And again, if you're pro-life, and if you say you're pro-life, you probably shouldn't be shooting people and killing them. It flies in the face of the whole idea of being pro-life. But yes, you're right about that. You're right about that, John. And then
exactly. And Chris,
yes.
When I first started listening to your great radio broadcast, I was working at a home care facility, mopping floors, and you brought up when you remember when the Lebanese, or I think it was Lebanese, they came to the United States, and then 3 weeks after that happened, a woman was violently attacked in my hometown. And you mentioned it on your great radio broadcast. And I was listening, and I was like, wow, he's actually talking about Missoula, Montana. I mean, we're like, Nowhereville, USA. And I was like, this man is listening to the pulse of the American people and to the reality of the world.
Yeah.
we're letting people into this country willy-nilly, and it's okay. Go ahead, do it. And people are being assaulted because of that.
Yeah, and the media representing the Democratic Party just doesn't care at all.
No.
Yeah.
They don't. They again, fungible. They'll just like twist the words and twist the message to fit whatever they want it to do.
Well, that's why you're absolutely right, of course. And when I was watching the news over the weekend, I expected them to do what they did in short order, and that is to start framing up this incident, this crime, these crimes as the Republican Party and Republican Party violence. And they brought on Andrew McCabe on CNN to say, oh, yeah, FBI Director Christopher Wray warned us about white supremacists. And now... Right. Right. And we've got this guy who was, again, appointed by two liberal left Democrat governors in the state of Minnesota. And then the manifesto, which he left very neatly in the hands of the police to find immediately before the bodies had even been found. They found the manifesto, and the manifesto frames him up as and then they have the morbidly obese roommate that gets $200 a month or whatever for the room in his house. And he says, oh, yeah, he's a Trump supporter, and the news media starts parroting it. Now, it may turn out to be the truth. Then again, it may not.
Well, we'll see what happens in the wash.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I tell you, I got a friend, John, who lives, a guy I grew up with, actually a better friend of my older brother's, but a friend of mine too. And I don't want to use his whole name, but Ted, my old friend Ted, and he works in the healthcare industry too. And his last name begins with a B like boy. Ted B, who lives in Missoula and works in the healthcare industry. And he loves Montana. And I understand that Montana is kind of under assault now by Californians who are coming in and buying up property and trying to ruin Montana.
Completely. Oh, they're flooding in here.
Wow.
My own rent went up about $150
because the price of everything is going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Chris.
Yes, sir.
Chris,
yeah, real quick.
I have 3 cats and Eden Pure thunderstorms.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, my goodness. Are they a blessing to my life?
Wow, no kidding.
They are the best thing. I bought them 4 years ago.
Wow.
And they have been great.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Chris.
You're the best.
I love everything you do, and I'll let you go. I know you're going to... continue on. But
a lot to get to.
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Great call. Thank you, John. God bless you. That's great. And yeah, let's save Montana. Boy, on Montana under assault by California too. Crazy. John, thank you very much, buddy. Thanks for the kind words too. That's great stuff. All right, now, Michael, let's get back to the crazy people, the big liars. The news media and the other Democrats. Amazing stuff. We hadn't even. Oh, yeah, I want to because here is Andrew McCabe, the disgraced former FBI official, rabid anti-Trump political frothy boy who was naturally hired by CNN to come on and say things like this.
The Butler, Pennsylvania shooter who attempted to assassinate then candidate, of course, now President Trump. We've never really been able to identify a distinct political commitment on the part of that shooter. He was, I think, registered as a Republican, but had contributed money to Democrats. He had done research on the locations of President Trump, but also of President Biden at the same time. Perfect example of someone who you can't even paint him into one corner or the other, but yet he decides to express whatever he's trying to express in the form of clearly political violence.
Yeah, well, and he didn't shoot Joe Biden, did he? But he did shoot Donald Trump, didn't he? And it was, in the end, a suicide attack, wasn't it? And they say he was a registered Republican, and McCabe is a dishonest man. I'm not a dishonest man. The Democrat Party was on a huge push in Pennsylvania to get Democrats to register as Republicans so they could vote in the primary races against electable Republicans and to vote for what the Democrat Party said were unelectable Republicans, because they wanted unelectable Republicans to win the primaries so that they would lose on Election Day. It was part of a dirty trick squad, monkey-wrenching the system, as they used to say in the 1960s. And maybe he's just ignorant and uninformed because he gets his news from CNN and MSDNC, MS-13 DNC. But if he were well-informed and honest, then he would have to incorporate that into his and he looked online at where Joe Biden was going to be so he could go and cheer. He's the guy that shot Trump. He's not a Trump supporter. He shot Trump. That's a clue. But Mr. FBI here got his head wedged so far up his own dark and remote location. Isn't that amazing? Then I switched over to MSDNC, MS-13, the cable channel, and they had a guy named Anthony Colley, who was director of public affairs for Biden's Department of Justice, and listen to the lie that this guy tells. I mean, again, we just had the congressional baseball game last week where all the Republicans wore on their sleeve the date that Steve Scalise was shot in what was an attempted mass political assassination by an actual Bernie Sanders campaign employee. And never mind that. You know, there was a Democrat presidential campaign volunteer that shot and killed Martin Luther King, by the way. But let's go to this clown on MS-13.
If I can just rewind the tape, if I can, just 4 months ago, we saw this president pardon violent January 6 offenders, people who were convicted.
January 6.
1,500. He just
January
pardoned them. That,
6.
to me, normalized political violence.
That, to you, normalized political violence. To me, hundreds and hundreds of violent riots from Seattle and Portland to San Francisco and Los Angeles and Chicago and Washington, D.C., and my neighborhood being looted and my city on fire. And you guys had so many riots over the course of years that you normalized political violence long before January 6th ever came along. And the most violent moment, and it's true, there were people that assaulted police and they were charged and they were given the maximum, whereas the hundreds of Democrats that violently attacked the police in front of the White House when President Trump was living in the White House, not a single one of them was sentenced to a day in jail, not one, in this Democrat hotbed of corruption called Washington, D.C., everything run by Democrats, and not a single Democrat rioter was sentenced to a single day in jail. In front of the Supreme Court, you'll see engraved on the stone above the front entrance, equal justice under law. And some of us actually believe in and advocate equal justice under law, but Democrats don't. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, and that's that. You guys normalized. It was 11 months ago, Donald Trump was shot. Oh, he was a registered Republican, part of a dirty trick squad for the Democrat Party to tamper with our democracy, to endanger our democracy by undermining the process during the primary races and voting for the most unelectable member of the opposing party. That explains crooks who shot Donald Trump. What explains James Hodgkinson, who shot Steve Scalise and wanted to murder a whole baseball field of Republicans? Explain that. Explain the hundreds of riots, the thousands of injured police. In the Democrat riots, thousands, quite literally, billions in property damage, the arson, honestly, you people, take your meds. You know, the big wireless companies are pulling something over on all of us. It's time to switch to my friends at Consumer Cellular. Listen, I did. I'm getting the same fast, reliable, amazing nationwide big wireless coverage without the big wireless money, the big wireless dollar figures. But it's not just about saving money on my bill. Also, about being used and abused by the big cell phone companies? Do you even know how much data you use every month? Most people over the age of 50 use less than 8 gigs of data in a month. But Big Wireless, they force you into an unlimited plan and make you pay for it because they need you to cover the costs of 12-year-olds using data 18 hours a day. So it's a redistribution of wealth scheme. Consumer Cellular set me up with their service and an amazing phone with the greatest camera. And it was easy. It's easy to make the switch. You call, you talk to an actual person on the phone, not a robot, based right here in the United States, not on a space flat platform. Real human beings, imagine that, who are helpful and know what they're talking about. It only takes about 20 minutes. So give Consumer Cellular a call today and make the switch. Call them at 1-800-760-0702. That's 1-800-760-0702. Yeah, the propaganda apparatus of the Democratic Party is mind-boggling. And I've got more of them coming up, too. We're at 888-630-9625. Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at WashingtonTimes.com/Chris. Yeah, the Democrat media claiming today, listen to this on the Twitter. Smart analysis of the No Kings protests estimates roughly 4 to 6 million people protested Trump across America yesterday. Would have been a lot more killing if that had been true. The anti-Trump resistance is unprecedented and exceeds his first term. This is many political protests. And again, today is the 10-year anniversary. The 10-year anniversary of Donald Trump coming down the escalator in New York. That's right. It was June 16th of 2015, 10 years ago. President Trump came down the golden escalator at one of his many skyscrapers in New York. And the Democrat Party has not been the same since. They thought, oh, this guy's a joke. We don't have to worry about him. And he did it because Barack Obama took a shot at him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And Donald Trump said, oh, okay. Well, maybe I will run for president. Barack Hussein Obama funding the Iranian nuclear weapons program. And then you remember Hillary Clinton had a 99% chance of winning, according to the New York Times, or something like that. Maybe it was only 98% on Election Day. And Donald Trump won. That was such a great night, such a wonderful night. Hillary Clinton is still crying. She sobs herself to sleep every night while her husband laughs and laughs and laughs and hits her with a stun gun. All right, let me get to some some important audio here. Melissa Hortman is the name of the member of the House in the state of Minnesota, the State House. She was murdered along with her husband by this psychopath, whatever his situation was. And Melissa Hortman did a press conference after she voted against the Democrat Party about a week ago to deny the Democrats wanted to guarantee taxpayer-funded health care to illegal aliens in the state. She voted against it, bucking the Democrat Party. You'd think a Trump-supporting Republican would be thrilled that there was a Democrat that voted against the Democrats, and this is a woman you'd want to buy lunch and give a lucite block with her name on it as an award. But this is Melissa Hortman getting very emotional.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
DFL Speaker to Melissa Hortman emotional following the House's adjournment from a special session Monday. Hortman was the lone DFL lawmaker to cast a vote to cut Minnesota Care access for undocumented immigrants. It's a move she made with a heavy heart.
I did what leaders do. I stepped up and I got the job done for the people of Minnesota.
The lone DFL vote, the Democratic Farmers Labor Party, very left-wing party. And she's practically in tears in this local television news report. And honestly, she seemed like a very nice woman, a woman you could talk to and have a perfect. And I don't care what your politics or who you vote for. As a rule, if you're not a crazy person, I'm fine with that. Like this guy in Washington, D.C., wearing his T-shirt that says, when the second Civil War comes, I've got dibs on Stephen Miller. So this overweight guy on a bicycle wants to murder Stephen Miller, I guess inspired by ABC News, now former ABC News reporter Terry Moran. Isn't that amazing? Melissa Hortman, after voting against the Democratic Party, should put her in good with Republicans.
The bill was deeply unpopular with members of the DFL caucus. Members have repeatedly expressed frustration that the bill was part of a compromise, one that would ensure the necessary GOP votes to pass the rest of the state budget. Hortman knows she let down her own caucus members with the vote.
They're right to be mad at me. I think some of them are pretty angry. I think that their job was to make folks who voted for that bill feel like crap. And I think that they succeeded.
Her own caucus, deeply disappointed, a deeply unpopular vote, let down her party, let down her own caucus. Why would she be the one singled out by a Republican? She might be the one more rationally, more likely, more predictably targeted by a Democrat, lefty, angry with this woman for voting against her party, and a deeply unpopular vote let down her own caucus, right? So why would this alleged Trump-supporting Republican target her and then leave his manifesto there for the police to find, saying, oh, yeah, I'm a pro-life Republican, and I'm nowhere to be found. I'm on the run now, but here's my manifesto. Isn't that amazing? Your Democrat Party. Aren't they something? Let's go back to soundbite number 9. Number 9. The law enforcement people coming out and holding press conferences over the weekend. Bob Jackson, the Minnesota Commissioner of Public Safety.
Bolter exploited the trust our uniforms are meant to represent. That betrayal is deeply disturbing to those of us who wear the badge with honor and responsibility.
These guys were genuinely unhappy, genuinely and authentically angry that this creep showed up disguised as a police officer and had kind of a police-looking black SUV vehicle with police-like lights on them and stuff. Then there's another guy, Drew Evans. He's the superintendent of the Bureau of Apprehension. Everybody should have a Bureau of Apprehension.
When this sort of evil is in one of our communities, that law enforcement comes together to put all of their resources together to make sure that that person is taken into custody.
And I got to tell you, I think it might be one of the next sound bites, but they had SWAT team. Well, I think he's got it in there. The Brooklyn Park police chief, where one of the crimes was committed, Mark Bruley, the police chief.
There's no question that this is the largest manhunt in the state's history. Just down at the scene where he's taken into custody, there was 20 different SWAT teams over an extremely large area hunting this individual down to take him into custody. 20
SWAT teams. Keep in mind the Democrat Party wants to defund the police everywhere, and they don't want militarized policemen. Joe Biden doing away with, you can't have an armored vehicle just because they're Democrat Party snipers shooting up Black Lives Matter rallies in Dallas and all the crimes being committed everywhere. All right, let's take another phone call before I want to get to President Trump at the military parade where I was with my best girl on Saturday having a grand old American time. But right now, let's go to the telephones. Let's go to Donna calling from Frederick, Maryland. Oh, Donna, you're on the Chris Plante Show.
Good morning, Chris. I would have loved to have met you downtown. That parade was amazing. God bless our troops. God bless President Trump. What a great weekend. What I want to talk to you about is the left and how desperate they are to create a martyr. They're so out of touch with the American people. And I keep, for some reason, when you mentioned, I believe it was Brennan, my brain went to MK Ultra. And I started thinking, we had too many of these lone type murderers out there, specifically targeting individuals. And we've had politicians threatening individuals. And it's just got my mind in a whirl. And I'm thinking about, where's Obama? What's going on? How many times does Iran have to be given a chance? 17 times? I mean, they were given 60 days. And it all goes back to what the left represents, which are color revolutions. And I think that's what they're trying to do in our country right now at this time. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that subject.
Well, the left loves a martyr. You used the correct word, I think. Look at George Floyd, right? George Floyd, a career criminal, a drug addict, a sad, sad life story. His bloodstream coursing with fentanyl and methamphetamine and THC. So he's having a good time. It's a party. I'm sure there's lots of alcohol, too, because he was well known for drinking his brains out. Passing counterfeit bills to a poor old immigrant man trying to run his business, which George Floyd was not trying to do, not trying to run a business. He was just robbing people. And when he was being arrested yet again, he's resisting arrest. And then coroner said that he died of cardiac failure. And he became such a hero to the Democrat Party, like Luigi Mangione, who is a hero to the Democrat Party. George Floyd, a martyr, that they burned billions and billions of dollars worth of property across the United States from coast to coast, literally injured thousands of police. There were dozens killed in the Black Lives Matter rallies. The Black Lives Matter organization ran a shakedown operation that made Al Sharpton look legitimate. They took in literally billions of dollars in the shakedown, the Black Lives Matter. But they love a martyr. There's no doubt about it. And they love killers. They love Luigi Mangione. Luigi Mangione murdered one man for no reason at all. He's a healthcare insurance company CEO. So according to Democrats, healthcare bad, CEO bad, insurance bad, white man bad, gun him down on the street, other white man from rich family in Maryland. And Luigi Mangione became he's like, they put posters of him on the back of their teenage girls' doors in their bedrooms like he's the new Farrah Fawcett. That's a pretty obscure reference at this point. The Farrah Fawcett poster, and they love him. When the Boston Marathon bombing happened, Rolling Stone magazine put one of the two Boston Marathon bombers on the cover of the Rolling Stone. There's a song about that. And Dzhokhar Tsarnaev became a sexy, saucy hero for the Democrat Party. They all wanted to date him. One of the mad Muslim terrorist bombers was immediately a hero of the Democrat Party and on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. Luigi Mangione, immediately a hero on late night TV, and all the talk they're talking about his abs, like they want to slide around on him after they oil him up, because they do. The killing is a plus. In fact, it's it was the bonus prize. Hey, he actually murdered a CEO, and the Democrat Party applauded that and made him a hero. And listen, the left does love creating martyrs. They make murderers into heroes quite frequently. John Hinckley shot Ronald Reagan and nearly killed Ronald Reagan, nearly killed Press Secretary James Brady, who I also knew as a young man. James Brady was a friend of the family, and Secret Service agent Tim McCarthy and a D.C. police officer Walter Delahanty. I happen to remember all their names. And John Hinckley is now on the loose, the gunman, and he's selling T-shirts. He complains online that I can't keep the T-shirts in stock because Democrats are buying up the T-shirts. When he says, I'm holding a concert where I'm going to play the guitar badly at a venue in New York or Washington, The tickets sell out in a heartbeat because Democrats buy up the tickets. They gobble up the tickets for a John Hinckley concert. He's not a well-known musician. He's a hack who you might find playing in a subway stop or something. But the Democrats love this sort of stuff because, Donna, it's the left, and it's the left. And the left is insane and violently, criminally insane. And now they are the Democrat Party, and the Democrat Party is part of the worldwide, the international left, which is here to destroy the world. They're best known for murdering 100 million people in the 20th century, and they're restarting the fires now here in the United States. They had never dreamed they were going to be this close to a major party in the United States of America, but here they are, Donna.
Yeah, it's an amazing time. It's quite alarming, especially now with all these skirmishes everywhere worldwide. And, time will tell. Hopefully we'll be strong enough, people will be awake enough, and everybody will start standing up for themselves, because it really gets down to the will of the American people to do the right thing, just like it does the people in Iran. And by the way, Chris, I just wanted to say to you quickly, I saw a report about CNN is not doing very well, your former employer.
I saw that too, yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and I think that's going to domino too. And it's about darn time, honestly. They've been brainwashing people for so long. I think their days are numbered.
It does look that way. It really does. They're in a tragic circumstance. A bunch of friends of mine, former CNN people, and I were texting about it over the weekend. And it's true, CNN is in a major nosedive economically in terms of ratings. They were once a very well-established and respected news brand for a number of years. Must have been because of me. The truth is, I left there. I left there in 2005, and one of the reasons I had to leave is because it was a disgrace working for the place even back then. So their decline has been a long time coming, but I'm happy to see it. These news organizations that should not be news organizations. Who was I talking to? Oh, it was the CNN. It was the CNN people over the weekend, watching with Andrew McCabe and leaving out all these details about the killings in Minnesota. Well, wait a minute. CNN left out that the killer had been appointed by 2 Democrat governors to boards in the state. They left out the Democrat ties. They left out that the 2 people targeted were all over the Democrat media in Minnesota for betraying the Democrat Party and voting against the Democrat Party and giving a big win to the Republican Party. They left that out, right? They left out the second car. And why would you leave the manifesto there in the first car at the scene of the crime? No, and then you're going to, well, did he know that he was going to flee on foot and he had a second car standing by? Was the oversized guy at his little rented room in the little house, was he involved with the getaway plan or any other element of this? And can we, I think we can trust the FBI now to be more open and more truthful on these matters. And Donna, you mentioned, God, look what I've done to the clock again. Unbelievable. I wanted to play some President Trump from the military parade where I was on Saturday, where my best girl was, and Donna, where you apparently were as well. It was a great event, and it reminded me of the Ronald Reagan days. It was supposed to rain on the parade all day long. Don't want to rain on your parade. It was supposed to rain, and we were supposed to have thunderstorms, and that never happened. Well, it happened long after, about an hour after the event was over. Then it started to rain like, house pets were falling from the sky. But through the whole day, no rain, and very nice day. And Ronald Reagan used to have that effect, too. They'd predict rain where Ronald Reagan was going, and when he arrived, blue skies would appear, and there would be no rain for Ronald Reagan. That happened on Saturday for the military parade, too. The United States military, United States Army. Thank you very much. 250 years young, and the world is grateful. The mental dwarves that make up the Democrat Party today, They're really obsessed in a demented, childlike way with the U.S. Army and their 250th birthday. 250th birthday, 1775, even before 1776, which is the birth date of the United States of America, not 1609 or whatever they made up and pulled out of their dark and remote location. Demented Democrat Party. And they're like, oh, he's having a military parade on his birthday for his birthday. So I guess it's a good thing his birthday isn't the 4th of July, because all the mental cases, oh, just having fireworks because it's Trump's birthday. Bunch of idiots. And they're very, very upset that when he was president first time around, he was in Paris, and the French, who are not famous for winning much, had a giant military parade, and they have good special operations forces, and their Foreign Legion is a good force. But they have great military parades in Paris, and the Arc de Surrender and the Champs-Élysées. And President Trump saw this great French military parade, and it was a great parade, and they do that very well. And he said, why don't we do that? And the answer is Democrats. And now he's president again, and he said, well, that's at the Army's 250th birthday. We've got the 250th birthday of the country coming up next year. President Trump on Saturday at the Army's birthday.
Every other country celebrates their victories. It's about time America did too. That's what we're doing tonight.
Active duty Army
and watching
veterans.
This magnificent display,
families.
Our souls are filled with gratitude for every generation of warriors who have worn the uniform all the way back to the very beginning. So to every veteran across our land, and right here in our nation's capital, including 6 recipients of the Congressional Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor.
We love you, we honor you, and we salute your noble service to our flag and to our country. Thanks to their extraordinary service and devotion, 250 years later, America stands tall, America stands proud, and America stands free.
President Trump was great on Saturday. The event was great on Saturday. My best girl and I had a great time on the mall on Saturday. Had great tickets provided by a friend at the White House to get us into a good position. It was a wonderful, proud American event, something that the Democrats never would have done.